guys, so I finally have made and edited my video on my lightsaber, which is just about like it's 2 months overdue at this point, but better late than never, I guess. In my R2 shirt, of course. So I had a lot of people actually ask me if the lightsabers are worth it, so I'm just gonna go over that a little bit and the process on how you get it and if it's worth it. Show off my little saber. So it's actually pretty heavy, so I think it's worth it, not just on the fact alone that like this is worth $215, just the experience with this and everything. I totally think it's worth it. I mean, I chose power. Oh my god, I didn't even mean to turn it on. This is it on. They all make different sounds depending on which kyber crystal you get. So you can choose from 4 different styles for your hilt. There's power and control, there's protection and defense, and there's also peace and justice and elemental nature. I'm not the biggest fan of peace and justice. Oh my god, no, sorry, that's wrong. I'm not the biggest fan of elemental nature. Peace and justice is probably the one I would make next because I just feel like it's a classic and you can't go wrong with a classic, but we'll see. The protection and defense is also pretty cool. Back to the lightsaber just a little more. It is motion sensitive, so if you're swinging it around, it's definitely gonna make some noise. I wouldn't fight anyone with it because, I mean, it's not that expensive of a lightsaber. There's definitely ones you can buy if you actually want to battle. It does make like battle clash noises, which is pretty cool. Yeah, there you go. I mean, you can hit someone with it if you want, but you gotta whack them really hard, so I just would not whack anyone with it. Don't drop it either, because if you drop it, it's just not gonna be good. There's batteries. Oh my god, I almost knocked it over. I don't know how to show this. Oh my god, that was my tarantula. The batteries are down here. It's 3 AAA batteries. Disney gives you batteries when you get it, but they're not the best. I would totally change it when you get home because the volume is just not that great. Also, if you're storing your blade in your hilt, the battery dies a lot faster, which I didn't know. I was like, why is my lightsaber going off in the middle of the night? It just kept going, making noises, and I was like, oh my gosh, the Force. But no, it's because this is eating your battery away, according to Reddit, but I think most people will store it like this because, I don't know, I just store it like that. So to get a lightsaber, you need to go to Disneyland, or you gotta go to Hollywood Studios and Disney World. You totally need a reservation. I wouldn't just walk up in there without one, especially if you're going at like a peak time, because I just don't think that's gonna happen. So yeah, you just make a reservation. You can do it online, or you can do it on the Disneyland app, which is how I did it. And basically, pick a time, and they ask you for your credit card info. That's not to charge you for this. It's to charge you if you don't show up. So if you don't show up and you don't cancel by 11:59 p.m. the night before, you're gonna get charged the full price for this. So make sure you show up. I think the appointments start at 8 a.m. So I did like noon. So it gave us some time to get there and get in the park and do a few rides. And I wasn't like, oh my god, oh my gosh, I need to get to Savi's workshop. I'm gonna be late. So honestly, I wouldn't recommend taking a really early time unless maybe you're staying at one of the resorts there, but I just wouldn't risk it, because if you miss your appointment, I think it's probably not going to turn out too well for you at all. It's also pretty cool that after you make your lightsaber, if you don't want to carry it around all day, you can take it over to Droid Depot, which is literally right around the corner from Savi's. Just give them your receipt and they'll hold it for you until the end of the day. But just make sure you pick it up, because they told me if you don't pick it up, it gets sent to Lost and Found. Not like, oh, it will be at Lost and Found at like the front of the park at the end of the night. They said, we send it to Lost and Found. So, I don't know. Think about that for yourself. Send. I don't know where they're sending it. I think it would be a really big hassle to have to find this if it's sent somewhere, so just make sure you pick it up. I had a dinner reservation that night, I think at 10 p.m. and the park closes at 12. So they just said, as long as you're here by 12, you're good to go. But I mean, I got it before dinner and I brought it with me because I was not taking any chances. There was no way. I mean, you also can hold on to it if you want to. Just there's some rides you can't bring it on. I'm not entirely sure what you can and you can't, but I have seen someone be denied from Indiana Jones with it before. So, you know, also just another thing to keep in mind, and it's actually it's heavy. It's kind of bulky to walk around with. They give you this case. It's basically like a pool noodle, but it is pretty big. You can just throw it over your shoulder and you're ready to go. But if it's crowded and you're walking around the whole day, it's a bit much. At nighttime, literally everyone that made theirs is walking around with it, me included. It's a little annoying, I'm not gonna lie. There's like lightsabers everywhere, they're all on. So it's kind of cool to see them all lit up, especially at night in Galaxy's Edge. It's another thing to keep in mind, just be respectful of your surroundings with your saber. You don't want to be whacking people. I kept whacking people in the cantina just because there's not a lot of space and they like cram everyone in there. They're like, go, go. But most people don't seem to care. I'm sure like after some point someone will probably be like, what the hell are you doing? So just be careful. So like I said, it's $200 plus tax. So I paid $215. It can totally end up being a really expensive day, especially if you don't have an annual pass, because Disney just raised their prices like last month. And I think if you want a one-day park hopper for both parks, which you should definitely do because the parks are like right across. It's not like Disney World. I think that plus the max pass is now at least $224. So it's definitely a pricey day. Like if you think about your ticket and parking and the lightsaber, food, drink, if you get any merch, it easily can be like a $500, $600, $700 day. So it's not a cheap day or thing to do. If you have an annual pass, it's definitely pretty helpful because you literally can just go to Savi's workshop, make a lightsaber, hang out for a little, then you can leave. So some people can't do that. They don't live around here, or they're traveling, or they just don't want an annual pass. So just something also that I thought was important about the experience. So in Galaxy's Edge, you're allowed to check in 15 minutes before. So that's when you'll pay, and you'll actually get to see they have like drawers, and they have all the hilt designs in there. So there's Power and Control, which is mine, of course, Peace and Justice, Elemental Nature, and Protection and Defense. So you'll pick that. They'll give you this pin. Well, not this exact pin, but you'll get a pin. You just wear it. It's really important you wear it because when you go inside the workshop, that's how the gatherers will know what they call it, scraps to give you. Each person that makes a lightsaber can bring 2 guests with them. So I would totally take advantage of that. The guests don't get to make the lightsaber, of course, but if you want to film it, and I think you definitely should, it's awesome to have someone there film it with you because it's a really cool experience. And if you're a huge Star Wars nerd or huge Star Wars fan, you want to be totally involved, and they do such a good job at making you feel like you're actually like in Star Wars. They just do a really good job at making it so immersive. So just if you're a huge Star Wars fan or nerd, it's awesome. I'm not gonna lie, there were some things that almost made me cry just because it was just so exciting. And Star Wars, I just love it. I love just a lot about it that I love. So it was really fun experience. when you're building the lightsaber, you'll get a box and it'll have the pieces in it for your specific style. Okay, so the first part of building your lightsaber is you're gonna choose your kyber crystal. Station 14, where I was, is right next to the gatherers on the end. So I got to pick my kyber crystal first, which I'm not gonna lie, I was super excited about it. So I chose red. Shocking, but that's what I went with. You can choose red, violet, blue, or green. But if you want a different color, you got to go to Doc Ondar's, and they have some other colors you can buy. I think they're $15 each, so it's not that bad. I mean, if you're already spending $2.15 on a lightsaber, what's an extra $15 to you? So overall, really awesome. The only thing I didn't like is it feels a little rushed. The whole experience is about 40 minutes, but you got like 10-12 minutes to build your lightsaber. So if it's your first time and you have questions on the pieces, it can be it's a little rushed, but it wasn't the end of the world. I figured it out, and the gatherers are there to help. One other cool thing I did get this day is the Millennium Falcon. It's a popcorn bucket. I was so excited to get it. I actually ordered fries, and obviously they didn't put the fries in here. That'd be like, I don't think it'll work, but I was really glad I got it. But now it's kind of just hanging around my apartment, not really doing anything, but it was like the icing on a cake for me for having a Star Wars filled day. It's so cute. Anyways, yeah, just watch the video, see what you think about the lightsaber experience. Obviously, if you want to do it and you don't want to know what's going to happen, then don't watch it, because the surprise will be ruined. If you don't care, go for it. I watched it before I went because I was just so excited and I had to see it, so find out.
Years to come. And I know to you this might just look like scrap and clutter, but to us, it's everything. Please let me introduce, we have Lynn, Samantha, my name is Josie, and we humbly call ourselves the Gatherers. We travel the galaxy looking for war-torn planets, abandoned outposts, and forgotten ancient temples. Both Jedi and Sith alike for all of these relics. And if the First Order were to come in our doors, our hope is they would think this is all just bits and pieces of junk. But we know that these artifacts are rich in history. And as gatherers, we are here to preserve the past to ensure our future. Now, as you know, we're in terrible times, but in troubled times, a hero steps forth. You've all heard the legends like Luke Skywalker? Yes? Excellent. And now we have a new Jedi. And her name?
Rey.
Yes, Rey. And she is our spark of hope. And I believe, elders, just like them, you too have heard the calling. And that's why you're here, to build this, the lightsaber. They say to build one is a work of art. It is beautiful and mysterious, but most of all, it is personal. It has been held by some of our greatest of heroes and some of our darkest of enemies. And I believe, builders, it's what will connect each and every one of you to the Force. But it all starts with one thing. Yes, the kyber crystal. The kyber crystal is the heart of your lightsaber. It'll harness the Force to power your saber. The color of your crystal will determine the color of your blade. And there might be many colors out there in the galaxy, but we have gathered 4 for you today. And I'd like to start with this one, blue. Once wielded by Master Obi-Wan Kenobi, his young apprentice, Anakin Skywalker, and now Rey, our spark of hope. And green, Qui-Gon Jinn, Ahsoka Tano, Master Yoda himself, and the legendary Luke Skywalker. And there is Violet, and it is rare and beautiful. And it was once wielded by Master Mace Windu. And red, the crystal of power, Darth Vader, Darth Maul, Asajj Ventress, and now Kylo Ren. But builders, enough with their stories. For it's time for you to choose your kyber crystal. Wait, most importantly of all, it will keep your fingers from being disintegrated. Now, out of these trays, you're going to go ahead and give your oh my God. I'm struggling.
How are we doing? I'm struggling. Here. It's not supposed to be. You almost got it? Yeah. Oh, I was doing it. That would have been more some cyber crystals can be tricky. Just find that long. Alright, and then move on to the activation plates in section 5. Section 5 here on the inside of each plate, you'll notice there is either going to be a blue rectangle or a red square. They're going to match up blue to blue and red to red on the chassis itself. That was a tough choice. Yeah, that's pretty important. It's a beautiful art. Apparently. Yeah, so like two of these, you'll notice there's a wider band on one end that's going to slide in towards that center activation plate, and then you'll apply pressure and twist it down. Did I do this wrong? So it's going to be the wider band that uses it for actions, and then apply pressure when you twist. You'll move on to your emitter here, it's going to go on the open end of your the matching color. How does that feel? I mean, they are very old pieces, so they don't have to split perfectly. Why does it keep turning? I don't know. Like, do you see what I mean? As tight as I make it, well, there probably has to be something going on. Yes, but
usually done by someone who is, let's say, force sensitive. We are just humble gatherers and we rely on technology and the well-practiced hands of my fellow gatherers. Now, fortunately for all of you, you have 3 of the best, so I do not expect any mishaps. It's not that we haven't had ours in the past. We used to have a 15th station, but now we are down to the 14th. But we do utilize it with this lovely basket and some extra scrap when we need. Now, as I said, I did not expect any mishaps, but wait a minute. We're going to stabilize right now, but
Well done. Chosen apprentice, you have chosen with heart. When joined to the art, much more they will become. For you, it is time.
Master Yoda. Oh, builders, the force must be strong in here. And it is. It's time to forge the bond between builder and saber. So in a moment, I'm going to ask you to step forward. Put your hand on your hilt, and together we will activate. So builders, if you're ready, please take that step forward. Put your hand on your hilt. Let's wait for everyone. Take a deep breath and activate. Raise your lightsaber. For you that know the lightsaber like the Jedi in the second and one before you. And like them, you too can change your galaxy. Remember, it only takes a spark. Now, builders, if you would please raise your sabers high. Yes, the bond is complete. Congratulations. Please deactivate.
I'm